Is Armored Core 6 going to be good? This is a question that has been raging on in the community for over a year now. And after reviewing all the footage and what we were able to see from the different content creators such as Viviad, sorry if I butchered his name, and others like him to release their own opinion of the game because they got to play the game early. And after reviewing a lot of this footage, I want to comfortably say that this is going to be a very, very good game, and I'm going to explain why. Armored Core 6 has had a lot of hype leading up to it, and there's been all these kinds of different rumors of how the game's going to play, if it's going to play like a Dark Souls game, if it's going to play like an Armored Core game. But to me, this is an Armored Core game. It always has been, and I think it always will be. It has some Dark Soul-like elements to it, yes it does, but this is nonetheless an Armored Core game. All the different types of fighting in this game just scream Armored Core. These are fighting ways that you cannot do in Dark Souls. You have such 3D dimensional fighting going on in this game, it's absurd. And watching the gameplay and how much can go on the screen at once is truly amazing. I like the different types of damage in this game. I like that they're doing different kinds of combos that you can do to enemies because this drastically hypes the game up. Like, this is very, very engaging. This is fun. I think these are very much welcomed mechanics in my opinion, and they keep it Armored Core-esque. The combo system can range from how your missiles can stagger or how your guns can stagger, how your melee weapons can stagger, and I think this is a great move by them. Now, as far as what people are concerned as the repair kits, our AP has been lowered very substantially than the previous 4 Armored Core titles that we have had, but in this regard, we have repair kits that can help us boost our AP back up. Now, this is a very controversial change to the game, but I definitely do think that this brings more awareness to the game in a sense. Let me explain. It brings more caution to the game. You can't just go out flying super fast and go kill all these enemies, because what if you take too much damage? Then you're dead. It also forces you to fight more carefully, which I like. It makes you plan out your moves much more strategically, which I've always felt in Armored Core has been lacking. Like in Armored Core 5 and Verdict Day, when we had the multiplayer aspect, you had to be very careful with how you approached fights, and I really love that aspect. That may just be because I love strategy games just as a person, but I love this aspect of planning out your moves, executing them a certain way. And I know a bunch of people are very concerned about the hard lock system, and they're very concerned about how PvP is going to play out. How is this going to work? Can hard lock be broken? Can I move past my opponent like I have been able to do in previous games and break their lock and gain an advantage? And from what I have seen from different leaked sources, this seems to be the case. You can break hard lock, and the fighting is very different. You do not have any repair kits, so it is going to be a very, very strategic fight. You have to be very careful with how you're approaching your opponent, and if you make a tiny mistake, you can get punished very harshly for it. Now, I do believe that we have a 6v6 mode coming, so that is going to be a very interesting multiplayer aspect of the game. But I wanted to touch on the hard lock system because I know a bunch of people are very concerned about this mechanic. Most of the Armored Core veterans are very worried that this will go way too towards Dark Souls, but I believe that this is good because we also have the option to soft lock if we so wish. So soft lock is not quite hard locking, but your reticle and your targeting system is still on that enemy, and it can move in between enemies if you want to. So your AC is not going to follow this one specific target. That is probably how I'm going to personally play the game, with different types of or meshing in hard lock with it, because I've traditionally played Armored Core in the sense of always using soft locking mechanisms. So I'm going to use that probably the most while mixing in hard locking as well, because that can also be a very useful. Now let's talk bosses. It wouldn't be a FromSoft game if we were not fighting bosses. The bosses in this game look so incredibly unique in their own different ways. The different ways that you are fighting bosses in this game and how different bosses react to you are amazing. I am so hyped to be fighting these bosses in this game. I'm super excited to see just how challenging they are, and I'm ready to be challenged myself, because that is why a lot of people play these games, is because of the bosses and how ridiculous they can be sometimes. All the different bosses in this game seem to have different unique abilities to them, and each have a different fighting style than the last, except for the AC bosses, which are a traditional staple in the Armored Core game. I can't wait to fight other ACs and see how other ACs pair up against my own personal AC. So I'm very excited to see what this aspect of the game brings. I think this is going to be a really, really strong point of the game, and I'm super excited to see how From Software has done bosses this time around in Armored Core. Now it's time to answer the question: is this going to be a good game? And my answer is a resounding yes. Everything in this game, foundation-wise, has all the building blocks it needs to be an amazing game. From the mechanics we've seen and the gameplay we've seen, I can confidently tell you that this is going to be an amazing game. Whether you're a Dark Souls fan, or an Armored Core fan, or a Call of Duty fan, or whatever fan you are, this is going to be an amazing game. This has so much potential, and I think From Software has definitely done a great job of marketing the game and displaying it and having so much hype resolve around it. And I'm so excited to get my hands on the game, and you guys already know that I'm going to be playing it as soon as I possibly can. Now, I urge anyone that is still on the fence about trying this game, like if you're still not happy about the changes that they have made. I know a lot of old veterans have expressed their concerns about the Dark Soul mechanics of the game, but I think that From Software is doing a great job of implementing of what makes Dark Souls so good and what they've learned over the past 10 years and applying it to Armored Core and making the franchise even better. I think these changes are fantastic, and I think they are good changes. There may be some bad changes and there may be some amazing changes, but I still think that this is going to be an amazing Armored Core game all around, and I'm excited to see how they approach this new game. Once the game comes out, I'm going to have my full thoughts on the game as far as what I think, where I rank it in the list. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to go over my general thoughts of if this is going to be a good game or not. I wanted to go over some concerns that some people have, and I wanted to express how I'm feeling about the game so far now that we've gotten all this footage. The story looks absolutely fantastic. I think that this is going to be one of the best stories FromSoft has ever told, because let's face it, FromSoft is not known for their storytelling, okay? It's their boss fights and how ridiculous they are. So them taking a big 180 and focusing on the story a lot more than they have in previous titles of Dark Souls and Armored Core and any other games they've made is fantastic, and I can't wait to see how our character 621 does in this game and what the future of Armored Core holds. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments about the game, please leave them down below. I want to know your thoughts and opinions on the game. If you disagree with anything I've said, or if you agreed, let me know. If you want to talk about it in the comments, let me know. Everyone, please have a civil discussion. But yeah, guys, I'll catch you later.